Hello, welcome back to another game on Arena 1v1 between the Viper in yellow as the Mongols. His opponent today, Vinchester, in green as the Portuguese. And it's a rare encounter. I'm not talking about Viper and Vinchester, but I'm talking about a 2K4DE rating Arena 1v1. Like, I'm not sure, one of them was slightly under a 2K4, one of them slightly over. I didn't really check it, but I know they're both really high rated, they're both really great players, and I'm really looking forward to this matchup as well. I'm pretty sure Viper streamed this game. I looked it up and thought, okay, yeah, makes sense that he's streaming. I think Vinchester didn't. I hope I won't forget to link the streamed links and the YouTube links of both these players. I guess Vinchester has YouTube too. No idea though. Going to find it out. And I'm really looking forward to this game. I don't know how it ends. I know it's a longer game actually, and therefore we might see a trush from Vinchester, but it's not going to be game deciding. And I'm going to go with Vinchester's map first, as he's the one who tends to trush on Arena or Bozeman Rush. Made famous by him, not sure if he invented it. We have the main gold for Vinchester forward. We have the second gold on the side, main stone safe in the back, which is nice. Third gold on the left hand side is outside, and the second stone forward close to the gate here. Vinchester luring that second boar, first boar, second boar, I guess it's the first. With his scout, he already lured in a couple of deer, and the second boar is close to the walls. I'm guessing he is going to lure the second boar with the scout as well. Is not going for the early map control then. We might still see the trush, so let's see what Viper's map is all about. Then focus on the middle, try to see where the relics are. Viper with the Mongols has a second gold safe in the back. Main stone on the side, and the second stone on the other side is outside. Main gold forward for him on the right hand side, third gold on the left hand side outside the map. Not really good for him, especially that main stone is a little bit concerning. Not really too well placed for him, and as the Mongols you definitely want to go for castles later on. So let's see how he's playing this. We have a 24 population situation and no feudal age click for Vinchester. That means no opposement rush, and I'm really happy about it. Viper going to stone really early on with 3 villagers, so this looks like a castle build order for me. 2 villagers being sent to stone. A lot of food in the bank, obviously, as the Mongols are taking those deer and boar, are eating them really fast. And Vinchester now moved out with the scout and is able to scout a lot of the map. What else do we have? One relic really close to the Viper here, another one between the two players, extra stone and gold. The gold definitely closer to Vinchester. One relic close to Vinchester's base. This one a little closer to the Russian player here as well. Extra gold and stone in the middle between the two players. And that last relic also closer to Vinchester, but only a little bit. Let's see, both players up to feudal age. Double bricks coming in by both immediately. Nobody going for the barracks. Viper low on gold? No, it's fine. He's got that gold that he needs and should be able to click up to castle age. And he did go with one more villager, therefore he's a little bit behind, and now 6 villagers on stone, 450 in the bank. Nice build order for him. 4 farms up and running. That's 3 villagers on berries only, and we have a total of 10 villagers on wood, 2 villagers still on gold. We are going to see the castle drop. Is it going to be aggressive? Is Viper moving forward? Vinchester is. Look at this. Vinchester was on stone as well. I didn't see it, I didn't check, but you might have seen it before. And it's Vinchester. Is up to castle age first. He's going to go with that forward castle. Can Viper see it immediately? He's going to react accordingly, is going to place his castle in front of the main gold, and we could see a prolonged early castle age fight between 2 castles. Organ guns against Mangadai. Could be interesting to see. Now, of course, Viper is going to try and delay that castle for a little bit, maybe try to get that scout down. And Viper's castle is even up earlier. Of course, Viper could use a lot of these villagers. And we have the castle fight between the 2 players. We have organ gun production starting immediately. Viper going for Mangadai as well. And now the question is, are we going to see the 1TC play here? Is somebody going fast imp? And I guess Vinchester has the better civilization for a fast imp tax here, or fast imp approaches. Ooh, that's actually an unfortunate gate for the Viper. There's another one here, but obviously it's blocked. And the Viper, you usually want to go for economy as the Mongols. You need a lot of upgrades for those Mangadai. And Viper, of course, has those for Mangadai. And I will try to snipe some of these organ guns. And Mangadai have that siege bonus. I think it should apply to organ guns as well, which are siege units. Nice way of getting rid of that spear. And now Viper, even though there's a castle in front of his base, he's actually quite safe. He's going for petards even. That could be fun. Because Vinchester, if he's not seeing the petards coming, that castle could go down really fast. fast. And of course, Viper, with the mobility of this Mangudai, has an advantage here when it comes to the unique units. Viper also moving out far out with a TC on just the wood line. Surprising, and he's actually not going for the castle. He's going for the counterattack. Vinchester, though, is already house walling this, and he should be fine here. He might need, I was going to say a tower, but a second castle coming up, protecting the main gold. And this is no surprise for Vinchester. So Viper actually trying to go with the counterattack, but Vinchester knows what's happening and is saying, hey, you can go in, but you won't go in far, because I'm house walled with mill in between, and you're not going to find any villagers. The main gold, I have to abandon it for a little bit of time, but other than that, I'm really happy at home. And Vinchester, of course, clicked up to Imperial Age already. While Viper, do we see any extra TCs other than the one outside, obviously? That's the first TC, second TC, no third TC yet. Viper housed on 65 population, and he's not going for any siege workshop rams or anything, which he could have done to get rid of that castle. Instead, he focused on that counterattack with the Mangudai, the petards, and I think Vinchester is in a pretty decent position here. The fast imp should be working quite well. Vinchester also enough stone for yet another castle. 1 TC, obviously. 39 villages is a good number for fast imp. And we do see double Fedoria drop immediately. So we're going to see the economy lead probably even for Vinchester really soon. He's also hopefully going for a trebuchet. No, he cannot afford it. He is actually saying, yeah, I'm going for the Fedoria. I don't care about my castle forward. I will get stone from the Fedoria, so I will be able to go more than enough castles over the long run. And that's actually Fedoria number 3 coming up. That might have been good for a build order analysis here. Maybe I'm going to do it afterwards. Not quite sure about that. But this looks really, really well played out and really well thought out. So Viper now with a very decent amount of Mangudai, cannot really do a lot. 2 villages forward, maybe for a siege workshop, maybe for another castle, I don't know. And there is 1 trebuchet for Vinchester, but both castles still standing, and the Mangudai obviously are able to take down the trap without too much damage being done to the Mangudai. There is another TC on the outside, so Viper is saying my opponent is probably going to try and attack my base, my arena, my original base. I'm going to move out to everywhere on the map. I'm going to build TCs. I'm going to prolong my castle age for quite a bit, and I'm going to have map control for most of the game for now. And Vinchester needs to fight for it. Vinchester is going for the Arbalest here. We do see, what's that upgrade for the Viper? I don't remember. Nomads. That means when houses are going down, you don't lose population space, and that's actually a decent idea. With the castle going down, it's not counted for a castle, I guess, but for houses, it can be helpful, as Vinchester obviously will be able to go into Viper space. Vinchester most likely doesn't have any idea about the extra bases here. He cannot see these farms, that's a spectator feature, but these Arbalists could actually find those TCs. And yeah, Viper is going with the villagers to the extra resources, building a mining camp only. There is elite skirmishes for the Viper. He anticipated the Arbalists, maybe probably could see them before, and those elite skirmishes are not really too strong, but the Arbalists don't want to take the fight necessarily. Of course, Mangudai for Viper more important than the elite skirmishes. And now Viper is saying, I have the numbers, I can fight against that group, I'm going to get rid of most of these Arbalists. In the meantime, we have a double siege workshop forward for Vinchester, the castle on 1100 HP, but not getting attacked, obviously, so Vinchester's fine here. Viper is trying to take stone for as long as he can, and he's moving to the back of his base with a few farms here, and his main farming economy is still at home, but he's got a decent amount of farms on the outside, and that's 6 archer ranges to produce more and more elite skirmishers. So Vinchester is actually went with a fast imp and trying to go for map control. He's actually the one getting attacked, more or less, or who has to defend here. Of course, he's able to attack Viper's base now. As Viper went for the Nomad's tag before, so losing houses doesn't really concern him. That TC is definitely going down, but Viper anticipated this, has more than enough economy to compensate for the attack on his original base, and he's going with another castle forward, protecting this gold, and also maybe starting to launch an attack here. Would love to see Viper going for Imperial Age and going for an Onager cut here, because Winchester's base, yeah, he's got those 4 Fetora in the back, but other than that, it's not going to be easy for him to defend, really. Winchester transitioning into Cavalier, a nice idea against those many elite skirmishers. Where's Viper's Mangudai army, actually? Did it go down? Did I miss that? I think he should not, doesn't let it die easily. There's a few of them left. But those Cavalier in combination with the Arbalest and now Trebuchet, they can do really good damage here. Of course, it depends on how many Cavalier and Winchester can afford here, but Viper is still in castle age, is gonna be under constant attack from these trebuchets. That castle is not even attacking the walls, because Viper is saying, why should I? As long as my opponent doesn't know it's here, I will be fine, I will be taking resources as long as I can. And Viper, of course, 130 more villages, but Winchester with those 4 Victorias, I'm not sure for how many, actually 5 now, for how many villages that makes up, but it's gonna be good income, it's gonna be a lot of gold and stone. Viper also 1200 and more stone in the bank, so he can go for more castles actually. And Winchester doesn't have the army to really launch a big attack on Viper's original base. Instead, we have a fight around this castle on the side, where Viper is still controlling these extra resources. On the other side, Winchester might not even know about this. Can you see it? He can see it. He has a trebuchet here, so he must have seen it before, and the trebuchet is starting to attack that castle. But the thing is, Viper has map control for now, more or less at least, and Winchester cannot produce too many siege units. It's just too expensive. He's not on like 130 villages. Viper 136, and these Mangudai, even though they're only castle age Mangudai, they are quite strong. Also, Viper now on the way up to Imperial Age. We are 39 minutes into the game, and Winchester with a fast Imperial Age did some damage at Viper's base here, but Viper, this is like a brilliant move. He knows Portuguese, he knows what the go-to strategy could be here, and he saw that Winchester was going for the forward castle, of course, for the fast imp, and he reacted accordingly, which is amazing, because you don't see this too often. Most players wouldn't move out of the TCs, or 2 TCs, or 3 or 4. Most players would try to hide at home, and then there is only one front to fight, and there with the fast imp, with the organ guns and arbalest, Portuguese and Winchester would have the advantage. Like this, Viper is bringing the fight to the open field, and is saying, yeah, you can attack my castles, but I still have map control more or less, and you're not going to get the map control easily. I still have a really good well-working base on the left-hand side, and Viper has a lot of resources in the bank, is now up to Imperial Age. Problem for him is that's 2 castles only, and you definitely want to go for Mangudai here. Viper is not even going for Elite Mangudai yet. No, he's still on the way up to Imperial Age. Sorry, my fault. I was thinking, yeah, is he on there already? No, he is not. Did he lose an MTC? Possibly. I thought he clicked up earlier. Was that the MTC that went down? It's actually, it's very possible, and that would be a big mistake for the Viper. I thought he clicked up earlier. Did I really slow down so much? He clicked up at 39 minutes, and he should be more than, what is that right now? He lost the MTC. Wow, interesting. And I missed it, sorry. Now I'm clear on that one. That's why he had so many resources, because Imp was just cancelled, I imagine. But he still got 2k gold in the bank. Of course, the fights in the meantime are continuing. Mangudai to take down that trebuchet. The second trap here, actually, another one here that went down. The Arbalists are trying to do as much damage as possible in the meantime. And of course, Viper still with that mobility. Got a TC on the other side now as well. Those farmers are still happily taking food. A few camels even against, was there a scout or a few cavalier maybe? There's cavalier coming now to that first extra TC original build long before in early castle age, but there's also 2, 3, now 4 castles for the Viper on the left hand side, only protecting the TC, but it's mainly for Mangudai production, and that production spot is not bad, because Viper is going to be really flexible on where to move the Mangudai. There's a castle coming up for Winchester now, but Viper finally up to Imperial Age, should go for Elite Mangudai now, maybe the other upgrades first, like you want to go for Bracer, you want to go for Path and Tactics, and Chemistry most likely. But then we should see Elite Mangudai as well, and it looks like Viper is actually starting to research that immediately. So, did he... Not even going for Bracer, really, he's going for Elite Mangudai first, that's interesting. But it's, of course, his choice, and getting Elite Mangudai in the long run will be really, really important. We have a few Cavalier trying to raid. Viper can see this. Viper is also using his Camel Riders, formerly known as Camels, I think, to get rid of those raiding units. And Viper is still repairing that castle, that forward castle here. Winchester got his own forward castle now. He's taking the stone, and still the 5 Vitora doing a lot for him. But Winchester is restricted to some, what is 40 military population? Is that possible? As a Vitora, 20 pop, and then you have 60 villagers as well. So 40 military is not so much, and maybe that's the big weak point of the Vitora build, that in the long run you actually would like to maybe get a few murders and maybe only 3 or 4 victorias for gold and stone. I'm not quite sure about it, but you need to get the best army composition you can get, and it's a gold-heavy army composition, obviously. So, like, Vinchester has a few elite skirmishes and that, but he cannot really afford too many of those because he's restricted. We have another castle coming up for Vinchester, a little bit more forward towards Viper space here. Viper should start to produce some counter trebuchets, and he did that already. In the meantime, at home in Viper space, not really a lot is happening. Viper is still taking a few resources. Actually, there was a trebuchet hitting that TC, so Viper has to abandon that and run away with a lot of villagers. Those 2 cavalry can do some damage. I guess Viper should go for camel riders here maybe, but the main battle is happening on the left hand side where Winchester is trying to get his castle up. There is 3 trebuchets for Viper attacking that castle immediately, and Winchester is not daring to go forward. Instead, he's using the cavalier as a meat shield to get a lot of damage on those elite Mangudai now. Not fully upgraded, but Bracer is done, which is very important. Chemistry missing, maybe Viper is going to get it very soon. On the way already, actually. And that castle from Winchester might not stand for too long, because Viper with 3 traps is doing a lot of damage, and those Mangudai, even though they're going back now, there's too many elite skirmishers, and Winchester obviously has to go for that counter unit. But those 3 trebuchets are still attacking, they're getting repaired, and those elite Mangudai can stop these arbalists from doing a lot of damage here. So Winchester is most likely going to lose the castle, actually, despite the fact that it's repairing with like 14 villagers here. But is Winchester out of stone? Almost. He bought 100, and that's too late. Winchester was not able to keep this castle up. Now we have 4 trebuchets for Winchester, counter-attacking 3 from the Viper, but Viper has those elite Mangudai, and suddenly the Mongols become really strong, because if you're allowing your opponent to go for elite Mangudai and you're not able to take that big group of Mangudai out, you're not able to take out the castles, then it's going to be a tough game for you. Winchester with a score lead, 49 minutes in, but Viper still with the mobility and yeah, somehow with more map control, I think. There is no more villagers taking that extra gold, but it's not really that important at the moment. Viper just wants to break this forward, this attack from Winchester. And Winchester is actually doing quite good. Those Cavalier prove to be really strong, a good asset, even though it's only a few of them, but it means that you have a meat shield in front of your elite skirmishers, and you can protect your Mangudai better, your trebuchets better. The Mangudai for the Viper are good, but I guess he needs a few more. That's like how many? 21? Get like 35, 40 maybe, and then it's going to be tough for Winchester. In the meantime, Viper is saying, hey, I'm going to attack your forward castle, which was annoying to begin with, with which I could deal in Castle Age, but now let's just take it down. It's just in my way of maybe reclaiming my base even. Not quite sure about that one, but there's a lot of gold to be taken for the Viper here. That's the former main gold, and there's still a lot left. Viper in the long run will have to go and have to fight for that gold. He's only 6 gold minus, and Winchester of course has a decent gold income, 3 villagers on gold, but the Vitora are producing gold and stone obviously as well. So Winchester will be fine on that matter. Viper on the other hand will want to go for that gold, and he's now sending a few villagers to start and collect gold. Viper doesn't have light cav or hussar, and that's a big problem for him, because those elite skirmishers, they can be annoying, really annoying. Viper is saying, I need to take the trebuchets down first. That bomber cannon, that is not going to have a long life either, but in the meantime a lot of those elite Mangudai are on low HP, some of them going down, and elite skirmishers, that's a cheap unit, and Winchester can produce a lot of those. He's now sending scouts. Maybe Winchester doesn't have enough gold, but actually it's looking good for him. Not quite sure why there's a scout in the mix. I think Cavalier would be better. We have now Viper with 2 trebuchets starting to hit Winchester's castle in front of his base, and if that one is going down, Winchester might be in a tougher spot. We have Viper taking his gold. On the other side of the map, pretty much nothing is happening. Winchester's now saying, yeah, that's actually the extra gold that is closer to my base. Both of them are, but this is the one I can take, and I want to take that gold. But Viper is still with 2 trebuchets that cannot be attacked really, because there's too many units in front of that. Maybe the bomber can take a shot or 2, but Viper is saying, hey, I have got elite skirmishers of my own and I can use them. I have upgrades on those, even though they're not fully upgraded. Mongols, I think, missed the last defense upgrade, therefore only +4 in elite Mangudai, but it would probably make them too strong in different settings. And as you can see, Viper is repairing the trebuchet. The bomber cannon went down once again, and that castle from Winchester is getting repaired, but it's slowly losing HP. And if Viper can keep his trebuchets up, then we might see that castle going down. But it doesn't look like Viper doesn't care much. I don't know. Bombard Cannon could get a few hits on that Trebuchet, and it almost could have gone down. Viper not daring to go in. There's too many elite skirmishers. Viper needs something else, and he's finally going for those stables and for the light cav. That's really, really important. That's 98 HP light cav. Hussars would have like 117 if I remember correctly, and those Hussars, that's... No, sorry for that. And that's tough to deal with for Vinchester then, because he needs some other unit. Even Cavalier won't do too good against fully upgraded Mongol Hussars, regarding their gold cost actually. But Viper is now going back. He lost the trebuchets, and Vinchester is able to keep this castle alive, which is really important here. So now Vinchester is the one who is moving forward towards Viper's base, towards Viper's base now, let's say. And he's also in the meantime taking out a few of these archer ranges. It's doing some damage, which is good for him. We have a few stables up. Is Viper producing? Viper is low on food. Is going for a few light cav, not too many. And he's got a good amount of wood in the bank, but not too much else. And Vinchester is actually with the score lead still, and Vinchester still got a good amount of income when it comes to his resources. Even the stone income is looking decent. He's also taking gold here still. And there's a few Cavalier raiding, and that is potentially deadly for the Viper, because you're not going to see these two Cavalier, and you need to invest some time, like it's about multitasking and such things, to stop these Cavalier from doing damage. And in the meantime, Viper is losing villagers. Viper is on 112. I think 125 maybe might be a really good number, and 112 not ideal. Was that the Arquebus unique tech for Vinchester that I just saw? Yeah, Arquebus research, that means the bombard cannons have ballistics now, as far as I remember, and that should make them a lot better. Viper trying to micro against those elite skirmishers, but he needs more of these Cavalier, and if he can afford Hussar, that would be really, really good, because that's another 19 HP, and that makes the Hussars a lot better than the light cav in my opinion. We have a big fight now with a lot of bombard cannons for Vinchester, who is actually still going with elite skirms and gold units, and that's very, very good for him. The Mangadai, of course, 80 HP is not easy to kill, but elite skirmishers over time are doing a lot of damage to those elite Mangadai. And the bombard cannons, if they're getting shots in, those Mangadai are going to die quite fast. So Vinchester is trying to hunt those down. In the meantime, he needs to protect his bombard cannons for sure, because they cost a lot. And it looks like Vinchester has the upper hand here. We have Viper moving around the Mangadai, sacrificing a few of these trash units, but Vinchester is coming closer. He's still sending in those Cavalier, and he's also starting to take these castles. And if Viper is losing the castles, then I'm saying he's going to lose this game. You cannot fight what Vinchester is putting on the field without Mangadai, I think. It's going to be way too tough, maybe with a lot of Hussars, but then Vinchester could transition into pikemen at least, and I think he would be fine here. So Viper definitely needs these castles, and it looks like one of these castles could go down. We do see a counter trebuchet, but there's also only 2 bombard cannons hitting the castle, 3 maybe, and the others are in the background, so maybe Vinchester is saying I don't want to lose all of them immediately, but now he's moving forward, and I think Viper, out of stone, which means one castle is definitely going down. That one is bye-bye, and these bombard cannons 13 range with siege engineers have a lot of attack and a lot of power to take down buildings fast. So Viper might be in trouble here. We have Vinchester with more than 3k more score, which is amazing to see, and he's still taking gold. He's safe at home. He still has those 5 Victorias, yes, and with the limited population space that he has, which is now 51 military units as far as I can see, is on 49, he is actually pushing the Viper back. Now there's the light cav moving in. Viper somehow needs to afford Hussars. Looks like he might not be able to do it. He's got so much wood in the bank. Maybe he needs a few more of those farmers instead of lumberjacks, but the problem for Viper is at home he lost so many villagers, and he is rebuilding them here where he doesn't have a lot of farming space. In the meantime, we have Vinchester moving more and more forward. Where's the bombard cannons though? Did they go down, or did Vinchester move them back? I didn't see it. Maybe I should have kept an eye here. It's possible that Viper took down the bombard cannons, and that would be quite good for Viper. I think that's the case. I don't see Vinchester with bombard cannons right now. A lot of elite skirmishers and arbalists, so sorry for not showing that. I'm pretty sure Viper just maneuvered in and just got rid of those. We have Vinchester though with Ooh, Hussar done? Hussar upgrade done, is that correct? Yes, Hussar's 118 HP, sorry, I was on 117, but it's 118. That's 20 more HP then. And now if Viper can get a few of those Hussars in before he's losing more castles, then I think he could turn this around even maybe. Because those Hussars are not dying fast. As you can see here, they're taking a lot of damage, but it takes time to actually kill them, so they're quite tanky even. And we have 2 more Romulcans now on the field, but Viper is actually pushing this back. And Vinchester, suddenly in the back foot, needs to send a few units other than these Arbalest. And the Hussars are a really, really strong asset for the Viper. So he's the one who could fight back. If he's getting 1 trebuchet, he might have a chance to get rid of these castles. We are 1 hour and 3 minutes, and still I don't see a winner. It was good for Viper to get rid of the bombard cannons, but Vinchester has 4 of them again, and Vinchester resources, yeah, look at that gold. It's going up really, really fast, which is beautiful for Vinchester. He's got enough stone for a castle. He could even sell it. Maybe doesn't want to, but Viper cannot really afford to buy a lot of stone, I imagine. Yeah, 55 gold, and he's still taking gold here. There's like, what is that, 1300 gold left to take, and in the middle, of course, it's going to be really tough to do that. We have now Vinchester getting rid of all the elite skirmishers. Where is the Mangudai for the Viper? Is keeping them in the back maybe, or is he moving around? There's a few on the side, doesn't really matter here. No, he's keeping them along his TC. Maybe there was some raiding, I guess he had Cavalier or 2. And now Vinchester is saying, why shouldn't I move on to the left hand side? He get rid of this base and then start an attack from there. That's an option at least, but he's first going with the castle to claim this extra gold, and I think that's a really, really good idea. Vinchester playing an amazing game in my opinion. Viper has been defending for a long, long time now, and Viper's resources remind me of Terror of Translow, because yeah, that's 5k wood, 6k wood in the bank, and pretty much nothing else. Vinchester is on the way to win this game. If he's not losing a big fight here, we might see a GG for the Viper really soon, and I would really be happy for Vinchester to win a game against Viper, who has been known as the best arena player, like not arena clown, but best player on arena for a long, long time, even though he didn't win all the arena tournaments that he played in. But I think if there is ever a Master of Arena 6, Viper is definitely the favorite. And now we have Viper moving into the Hussars. He did take down these bombard cannons, I think, but there's still a lot of military units left for Vinchester. And with a castle being build up behind that gold, Vinchester is gonna have more gold income. Viper has a good amount of Hussars and Mangudai now. We could see a good fight for him, but the castle is making sure the Viper cannot move too far forward. Now we have those trebuchets, and if that castle is going down, Vinchester right now, not so much gold. Is he going for more bombard cannons? Yes, he's producing again, but his military numbers are not looking too promising. Viper is getting rid of a lot of these military units. The elite skirmishers falling. There's only a few arbalists left, and suddenly Vinchester, even though he was about to win this game, he's on the back foot here, and military numbers matter. That's 12 now. Vinchester did not continue to produce, and he's low on food as well, so he cannot afford too many Cavalier, and I guess he needs arbalists and elite skirmishers. So elite skirms also cost food here. So yeah, Viper is starting to take that castle. Villagers going to repair here, but Vinchester doesn't have stone forever, at least not immediately. There's the bombard cannons moving forward. Vinchester is adding in light Cavalier, so his military numbers are going up again. But Viper still has the elite Mangudai, and as long as we're losing them, could even go for a monk maybe. He's gonna be fine here. 5 relics, by the way, for the Viper, if you were wondering. I was wondering, and I guessed that Vinchester didn't have them. Viper somehow collected them over the course of this game, and therefore Viper at least has a chance to keep up with the gold income for Vinchester. Now we have those 2-3 trebuchets still attacking the castle. Vinchester has only a low amount of stone, and he doesn't really have a good way to take these trebuchets down. That position for the trap is ideal almost. Could put 2 palisades in front of it, and he couldn't even really attack it with the Hussars. And let's be honest, elite skirmishers, arbalists, they're not going to do the trick. So Vinchester most likely is going to lose this castle, and the game is still far from over in my opinion. Viper again with a small edge, and Vinchester needs to get his military numbers up. I think that's the big problem right now. Vinchester has those many Fetoras, but only 38 villagers, and Fetora are good for gold and stone, but not so much for wood and food. And it might be tough for Vinchester to actually rebuild his whole military. He's also low on gold now and doesn't have the bombard cannons or the Cavalier or even the Arbalest. What do you you do against these hussars that Viper is now flooding in with 56 farmers? Viper's population kept on 195. He's moving forward with the trebuchets, and we might see the final attack for Viper here, because Vinchester doesn't really have a lot against this 30 military units, but it's mainly elite skirmishes. 25 of those are elite skirms, and if Viper is sending a group of hussars in, those elite skirms might die really fast. Another bombard cannon coming out, but somehow Viper was able to get rid of that big army from Vinchester, is now fighting back, and I guess that's the difficult part with the Fetora economy. When you need food and wood for trash units and you don't have it, you might be screwed. So like right now, Viper, even though he's behind in score, not by so much anymore, he's definitely on the winning road here, and Vinchester might lose that other castle as well. I don't think there's a way for Vinchester to stop these trebuchets from taking that castle down. It's more like might likely that the Mangudai are finally able, or the hussars, to take that bombard cannon, and Viper is also still repairing these traps, which is amazing. He's rebuilt a little bit of his economy here, and the castle is going down. I think Vinchester might call it GG. 21 military units, and does he have a castle left? Yeah, there's one of them left, but he doesn't really have economy, and he's calling the GG here in an amazing game between two equal players, between two very interesting civilizations on Arena. I hope you enjoyed this one. See you in the next games.